It means we don't conduct business. It's an informational meeting. We will keep it to an hour, but we've got a lot of really good stuff to share with you, and we do want your feedback on some stuff. So we always like to begin in prayer. We just take this opportunity to close our eyes. And we begin by giving thanks for this morning. Just say, wow, that feeling, that presence of new members, amazing music, being lifted in spirit. And so for this time together, we are thankful. We dedicate this time to seeing what are our opportunities as an organization, where do we stand, and what is calling us with clear vision, what is ours to do. And so for this time together, we're truly grateful. Thank you, God, and so it is. Amen.
Hi, everybody. Thank you very much for staying. I'd like to introduce the board to you this afternoon. I guess it is. It's not still morning. I think everybody knows who I am, so just in case you don't, I am Bobby Flowers Owenby, and I am your board president. I just want to let you know that I've had the privilege of being on the board this is my 6th year now. And it has been amazing, let me tell you. I have worked with some amazing, amazing people, and this board is no exception. They are absolutely wonderful. You ask them to do anything, and it gets done. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to follow up. You just know it's getting done. So I'd like to introduce them. First, we have Michael Winter. He's the treasurer. We have Julia Wagner. Carol Mobley, Joe Wigner, who is our secretary. We have Brian McGrady, Laura Cardwell, and of course my vice president here is Sharon Oxendine. Thank you all very much for coming. And of course, the person who leads us the most is Reverend Darlene. Now I'd like to invite up Gabby, Megan, and Linda to give some staff reports.
Great. Well, the main thing with our youth program that we want to do is thank Nancy and John Thompson for the amazing decorating job that they do. So thank you so much. We are so grateful.
We've got some pictures, Gabby. These don't do it justice. If you haven't seen the back, just go through and see all the classrooms are quite amazing. And John and Nancy led the way, but it took a huge number of our volunteers with a lot of hours. And so there's some of those volunteers putting it to work. So thank you.
And today the teens took these squeezy balls that I have, stress balls, you know, and they threw them up onto the ceiling, and they're still there. All of them. There's like 10 stuck to the ceiling. So I don't know how we're going to get them down. The experiment will be, are they down when we arrive on next Sunday? We'll see. And the other thing is that we are unfortunate. Huh? There. Oh, yes, and Team Habitat also did an amazing job, and we want to thank them as well. They were fantastic. Thank you. Also, we are, unfortunately, I heard today, we are losing our Haley, who is working in our program. She's going to be going to another job. So I'm open for any volunteers, people who would like to join us in the youth program, even if it's once a quarter. You're welcome to join us and have fun with the kids. So that's it.
Thank you, Gabby.
Hi, I'm Reverend Megan Goszewski, if we have not met. I am the Associate Minister of Pastoral Counseling and Outreach and 500 or 600 other things. But I want to give you a little recount of what's going on with the groups that I am involved with. So pastoral counseling, so I started out with a bang with pastoral counseling. For those of you who don't know, I do one-on-one pastoral counseling with members of the congregation, and I pretty much filled up right away. Like, it has been consistently people seeking counseling and prayer, and I'm just honored to be able to give this service. If you would like pastoral counseling or you would like some prayer, reach out to the church. We will connect. It has been a blessing to be able to offer this, and that the receiving end of it has been so great that people are ready to receive and ready to grow and challenge themselves in new and exciting ways. With the prayer chaplains, that's the one team that I kind of head up, and we have done a few different things. First of all, there were about 5 prayer chaplains. Now we have 9. I know. We will do another class on prayer in January. Reverend Barbara Ann, I don't think, is she? There she is. We're going to do another class in January, a 6-week class. And then after that, anyone who is so called to become a prayer chaplain, I'm just planting that little seed in the back of your head right now. We will be starting up a new group to join the existing one in March. So if you are so called, keep that in mind. We've done some great things with the prayer chaplains. We've done a pet blessing. We did a meditation. We're doing the 7 o'clock, which was every Sunday, now every day, and I think it needs to stay that way for the time being. So 7 p.m. every night, set your little phone alarm and pray for peace and say the prayers. Hopefully you got a copy of the prayers. They were giving it out at the door today. If not, let me know, and I'll see if I can get you a copy that you can pray every night at 7. Many classes. I've been teaching classes. I've got a class coming up in September on Andean spirituality and possibly a Mary Magdalene class. Did we talk about that? So we will see. Outreach. We've done Pride. We've done Mills River. I'm going to be praying. Unity is now officially going to be praying with the Hendersonville Board of Commissioners. And that started up, and we are looking to potentially get involved with IM Ministries on a little bit deeper level. Affinity groups, that's my big thing that I'm here to sell today. So we used to have affinity groups back before the pandemic. So there was affinity groups. So there were hiking, there was restaurant exploration. So we're reviving these, and that hiking, restaurant exploration, potentially a recovery group. We've got a Qigong group. We are doing a whitewater rafting event, if you're so called. There's information outside. You can right out by where you donate, where the blue boxes are. There's some clipboards. If an affinity group calls you, sign up. If you would like to lead an affinity group, let me know and let's talk about that. We really want to start building those small connections inside of the church. So when you walk in the door, you can already become involved with something. What calls to you to do that? So I'll be out front after this meeting's over, and we can chat a little bit more if you'd like. And that was it.
Thank you, Rev Megan.
Answer. There's clipboards right outside, and they're listed with the group facilitator. I should say Joan Russell. No, Joan is leading the restaurant exploration. So if you like to go out and dine in this area, we are also Laura Nelson, who used to be a member and moved away but came back. She's going to start a Qigong group. And we're looking at a couple others. So if anything calls to you, like I said, I will be out front and we can talk about that more. But the idea is that we get involved and grow our spiritual community and grow ourselves. So, any other questions?
Okay, thank you. Linda Jones. Mm-hmm.
Hi. Okay, I think we have some slides. Yes, Adopt a Highway. Adopt a Highway was part of the outreach community. So I said, well, why can't they be a team? And they kept saying, why can't we be a team? So we explored that, and Bobby looked into it with our liability. Insurance was the main thing that was holding us back because they were out of the building and on the road. So it turns out that they are under our liability insurance. So I'm welcoming Adopt a Highway to be officially a new team of Unity of the Blue Ridge. Yeah. So we now have 9 teams. The sustainability team this year was awarded again with the Green Star Award. This is our 8th year in a row. And we now have a porta potty at the Labyrinth. Now, this is amazing, only because you know, running back and forth from the labyrinth to here. And also, yeah, a lot of steps. And also, we usually, if they wanted to meet, say, on a Saturday and do some weeding and so forth, there was no one here to open the door for them if they needed the restroom. So this has been a great answer to Barry Shepherd's prayers and the team. So that's exciting. Last May, we had the Volunteer Appreciation Banquet. Yeah, catered by Deb Viteri.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, we had over 85 volunteers attending, and the only reason there weren't more was because they were either away or something, came up in their lives. But do you know what? We now have over 120 volunteers who are actively working to support this community. Yeah. So that's really exciting. And there's all of our teams. And I just wanted to say, too, that we appreciate all of the volunteers, everybody. I don't care if it's from the smallest little thing you do, picking up a pen, doing whatever you do to support this community and sacred service is so greatly appreciated. And if any of you want to join any of these teams or and serve or seek your spiritual gifts, just realize how you could serve. Just see me, Linda Jones. I'm here most of the time. And we want to thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Linda. I want to back up just a second. That was just a few of our staff members, but I do have this list, and I want to acknowledge a lot of these are close to volunteers, but they help us with so many things, and so I won't name each and every one, but would you just please acknowledge them and also our support. For example, Judy McCowan, who's a retired CPA, who does so much for us in our ministry, and all of these. I just want to thank all of them. And do we have any band members in here? Good. We've got 2 band members that were hungry. Yes, they're always hungry. We've got 2 band members that next month are going to be celebrating their 40th anniversary of playing here. So stay tuned. We're going to surprise them one Sunday because they just show up. But can you imagine 40 years? They've been showing up faithfully. They are just the best. So to each and every one of these, would you give our staff a real round of appreciation? Well, thank you for that. All right, and now to our treasurer, Michael.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We sang earlier, we're strong for love. We stand strong for peace. We stand strong for each other, and it is because of each other that we've actually got a very positive financial picture to paint for you. Every year that I've done this, and it's only been a couple, we hit mid-year and then need to work very hard to catch up towards the end of the year, and that is not the case, and that's because of you. Mm-hmm. We are ahead of the game this year, halfway through the year, with the income of $169,366, expenses of $161,307. So we have net income of $8,059 in June. We are ahead.
That's a big deal.
We're ahead of budget on income, and we're below budget on expenses. Go to the next slide. From a financial cash position, we've got $164,175 in our operating accounts. We've got $203,890 in our restricted accounts. I'm sorry? Restricted accounts can only be spent with special approval of the board. And the operating accounts are used for regular operations. We do have $19,142 in stock investments. And we changed our banking this year, some of the operating funds and much of the restricted funds are in interest earning accounts now. So those are working for us as well. We do have an SBA loan that we took out during COVID. The balance on that, it's at a very low interest rate. We're paying at a rate of $1,112 a month. It's a $250,000 loan. And because they deferred payments during COVID, we're catching up on the deferred interest. But we've been making payments since the first of the year. But it is because of you. And the board works very hard to keep things in line. Darlene and the staff manage things exceedingly well, and there's a great amount of appreciation to each and every one of you for the position that we're in. Thank you.
Thank you. You want to mention legacy coming up?
Can't count. I didn't realize that was the next slide. Whether you remember or not, last year when we filled out our membership forms, we asked on that form if you had included Unity of the Blue Ridge in your estate plans, and 14 families had said yes. We are going to hold a thank you reception later this fall after the anniversary to express our gratitude for that. We're also going to give anyone the opportunity to let us know if they missed telling us about that, so they can certainly be included in the thank you celebration. And we are planning a display for those who are willing to be recognized as making that commitment, and there'll be more about that presented later.
Thank you, Michael.
Okay, I just have a couple of things that I wanted to bring up. First, I am going to be looking for volunteers. Some of our members are having issues hearing in the sanctuary. Their hearing aids are not working correctly. And we have looked into a loop system. I don't know whether you know what that is, but at this time, it just doesn't seem like it's something we want to do because they have to tear up the carpet and a lot of other little things. So I'm not sure that's something that we'll do. Well, I know that we won't. The board's already voted on that. But we are looking at ways to make it better for everyone to be able to hear. So if you have any ideas, please, of course, let me know. But what I'd like to know, what I want the volunteers for is if you have hearing aids and you are having a problem hearing in the sanctuary, if you will see me out in the lobby afterwards, so that I can get your name and find out what's going on with you, just to see. I mean, we're going to come in here. We're going to have Robert, our sound technician, come in with us, and we're going to try to see if we can figure out, if nothing else, better places to sit if you're wearing hearing aids. Okay, so that's one of the announcements I wanted to make. I also, I don't know whether you've noticed or not, but down at the Labyrinth, there's 2 cherry trees down there, and they're rotting. They are rotten. So we got a couple of quotes to get the cherry trees cut down. We're going to have those cut down probably the first week in August. I've still got to call him and set a date, but he told me the first week in August was when he was available, so hopefully we'll be able to get that done then. Now, if we have any tree artists out here that can carve a figure or something into a tree, the trunk, we can leave it kind of tall so you can carve into it, or we can cut it low and make a bench. Anybody at all?
Peter.
Okay.
cut it down.
All right. Thank you.
And we did try, we got 3 estimates, and we tried to save those cherry
did.
trees. We were willing to put a band around them, and they said, no, you can't save them. So.
Yeah, we were going to have them cabled, and they said that, the cabling wouldn't work, that they were just rotten so that it wouldn't work. So, we did do everything in our power to try to save them. And then last but not least, I know a lot of you are wondering what's going on with solar. I mean, it's been, almost 2 years or 3 years? Since we started working on the solar, and it just keeps, for one reason or another, something happens. So we were going to put it out here, and of course, that didn't work. And then we decided we're going to put it on the flat part of the roof. Well, I just found out 2 weeks ago that code has changed and we can't put it up on the roof. So, you know, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, we're going to have to drop this. We're just going to have to drop it because it just doesn't seem like anything's feasible. Well, Joe and I met Michael Churchman out here, who is our solar guy, who's going to be doing the installation and stuff, and his recommendation was to do it out in our little teardrop circle. We could do it out there. It won't be in anybody's way. We'll have to put a fence around it. There is a tree or two that might have to come down, it looks like. But it looks like it's a go for that area. So we are very excited about that. We'll be able to put it out there. It won't mess with any of the grass out here, since that's kind of nothing we do with anything with it anyway. So we're excited about that. More to come soon, hopefully. We're really, 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 fingers crossed, prayers to God, we have that up and running before the end of August. Okay? So this August, next month, before the end of next month, that's what we're shooting for. That's what we're shooting for. Unless there's something else that comes up, and I have a meeting tomorrow with Michael Churchman again to go over a few things, and if all of that is working out, then we'll get started. Okay? All right. Well, thank you all very much. Now I'll give it to Reverend Darlene.
And if you do go out to that area, again, it's the area, if you drop somebody off at the front door and then ride around that circle, it's that loop. There are stakes out there now. Yeah. You can see it's not taking the whole place, but the solar company came out, looked at our land, and said, this is where it needs to go. So since that roof won't work, that roof won't work, hopefully the third time is a solar charm that it's gonna work. Ellen? Legally, first of all, it has to have a fence around it. So that's part of our negotiating with them. And just so you all know, we were planning to put it up there, so much so the solar company paid to have that reinforced. I mean, we could have elephants standing on that roof and it would never come down. They did that at their expense, and then they determined it wouldn't work. So we're seeing if they'll help us put a fence. We have to put a fence around it, and then Joe, because he does so much of the mowing, will help us figure out what kind of landscaping that will be as minimalistic as possible, yet look nice. Yeah, and we shall see. They're up against a deadline for Duke Energy to give them the rebates. So some of you weren't here when we were talking about this. This is a lease system. We'll actually be leasing it, and the lease payments for solar will basically offset what we're currently paying for electricity. But as the years go on, we will be paying far less as the utility climbs. And it's a sustainable thing to do. So we're doing our best to make it work. Yeah. So I trust all of you know this is this ministry's 75th anniversary. That's a big deal. That really is a big deal. Not that many churches, Unity churches, can say that. And I want to give a shout out to Vicki Pruitt. Vicki is one of our members from Tennessee. She drove here today to be here. Yeah, stand, Vicki. She is a faithful virtual member who drives here from Tennessee when she can. She contacted us and said, can I create some history? And we said, go for it. Little did I know, she's reached out to Unity headquarters. They found out who the person was who started this church. So she's putting together a beautiful presentation of the history of our church. And that's the power of a virtual member. I want you to know that you're changing that life. Thank you. Now, something really exciting, Unity World Headquarters. Reverend Jim Blake is the CEO. Reverend Mark Fuss is a vice president. When I saw them at Unity Village and told them it was our 75th anniversary, they stood back and said, that is an amazing endeavor. And I said, would you be willing to come out? And they said, absolutely. So they can't be here in October. They have other commitments on the West Coast, but mark your calendar, September 15th. Unity World Headquarters is going to be here to acknowledge us with a special award for being a successful Unity ministry thriving and going strong for 75 years. So I'm so excited to have that. And I hope you'll show up and be here on the September 15th. And then our homecoming. We've created this around October, and we call it homecoming because some of last year we had virtual members who flew in all the way from California, from Texas, from Tennessee, from New Hampshire. Some of our virtual members make the trip to be with us that weekend. And so if you can travel over the river and through the woods or just from Arden or Asheville, please be here that weekend. So it's our 75th, and I'm so happy to tell you that Ricky Byers is going to be here with us to help celebrate that weekend. So we're going to kick it off Friday night with a concert. We'll have some of our band and our singers, but none other than Ricky Byers herself will be here singing with us on that Friday night. And then Saturday, we've got a slate of workshops. We're bringing in someone who works with labyrinths who's going to do a small film, some teaching about labyrinths. We'll have some classes going on concurrently, and then Ricky's going to be holding an interactive workshop in the afternoon. So all of that will be up on the website by next by next Sunday, no later than next Sunday, so you can start registering, which if Jennifer Hastings is in the building, she may have had to leave. Jennifer Hastings, would you please stand? She's our newest staff member, and she's helping us. Yeah. If you can say the word obsolete, pretty much every system we've got it is obsolete. And so she is helping us with new programming and different things. So she'll have all this stuff online so we can start registering for it. Friday and Saturday's up. Okay, some of the registration's already up. And then Sunday after, so during the Sunday service, I'll be speaking, but Ricky will be here. We'll have some other folks here for a powerful Sunday service. And then we're all going to go out on this patio and enjoy a feast of a lunch that will be provided to us by Deb Viteri and her massive number of volunteers. So it's going to be just a wonderful, wonderful day. So that leads us to really thinking about, it is our 75th anniversary. We need to celebrate and do something special. And I've prayed about this quite a bit, and I just feel in my spirit that something wants to be birthed. There's some gift that we are to give to our community. Some of you know that last year, with the help of a couple of our members, we were able to get a conceptual master plan of a professional landscape architect came out and walked our grounds and said if we wanted to create a campus, a place that outside people could worship and celebrate and feel the oneness of life the way we do inside, what would it look like? And so they gave us a beautiful concept of some things that we could do. And so building on that idea of a concept, now bear with me because this is a really good drawing. It's just going to go downhill from here. But just use your imagination and follow along. So I want to take you with me. We've gone out the front door and we're standing at the labyrinth and you're looking towards the road. Have any of you noticed that when you drive in, there's that stretch along the left, and let's just say it's not pretty. You could even say ugly. You know, that it's just not pretty. Jim Reed knows we've tried to plant stuff and stuff just hasn't grown. And so there's that long stretch, which is longer than you may think. So if you walk past the Labyrinth Pavilion, which, by the way, a huge shout out to the Labyrinth team. This Labyrinth has never, ever looked better. It is absolutely beautiful. The butterfly gardens, they have a torch. Angela and her husband, Augie, were out with this fire torch burning the labyrinth to burn the weeds. And so they've just, a lot of people, hours pulling weeds and keeping it beautiful. It takes a village. But as you walk through this, just imagine you've gone past this pavilion. And so now we're standing out looking. You can see the road sign that it goes down pretty far. So this is the area that we are envisioning creating what's called a pathway of peace. Unity is a pathway of peace. And we want that to be echoed on the outside of the building as well. So just imagine that if you're driving in the driveway and over to your left, now this is hear me, this is just a general idea. It will not look like this sign. But just imagine if you're driving up the driveway and you see something where Joe is standing, and it's a beautiful wooden archway that says, Pathway of Peace. And then, now Bobby has become the Pathway of Peace. So you just walk through the Pathway of Peace, and now you get to this area. And Joe has become a bridge. Joe has become a rainbow pet bridge memorial. This particular one is at the Flowering Garden at Lake Lure. People come from all over the United States. Some come from outside of the United States to walk that bridge and to leave a dog collar. It has grown so much popularity. Unity Village just created one of these at Unity Village. I think they probably heard us talking about it in January or February, but now there's one of these at Unity Village. And so again, if you can back up, so Bobby, Lord, I need help with this thing. So Bobby is the arch. Where Joe's standing, there's going to be a rainbow pet bridge memorial with a dry rock bed under it. Over back behind, there's going to be 7 poles that are standing that are painted the same color as the bridge, kind of thin, that a person can leave their dog or cat collar on those poles. So it'll be a piece of art itself, designed by someone that is yet to be determined. All right, so we had we've got the entrance, we've got the prayer bridge, and now we've got, Joe, this is about 150 feet, right? This is a long space, about 150 feet, and you can still see we've still got some distance here. This is where we're going to put approximately a 40-foot, this is probably 16 feet by 16 feet by 10-ish so, and by 7 or 8 feet tall. This thing is big. A beautiful interfaith prayer wall that'll go right here. It won't be arched quite that dramatic, but it'll have a little slant to it. And then on each side of this will be one of those benches like we have at the Labyrinth with the big stones, so it'll echo that. Part of the wood, we're using the same kinds of wood and stuff. So you're going to have all of these components, and here Laura's teenage daughter took her stab at it, that you walk through an entrance, there's a bridge with a dry bed, there's those dog collar holders, here's the prayer wall, you walk down a path, and then you get to this. And so all of these aspects together will create a pathway of peace. How do you like it? So our goal is to have that pathway of peace. It would be awesome if we had it done by September 15th when Unity's here. Probably not going to happen by then, but it could happen or be close to happen by homecoming weekend. If we're going to do all of that, there's one other thing in the church that is lacking. Anybody here want to guess what else needs a little upgrade? Here's a hint. We made beautiful upgrades here. Nancy and our Habitat team have got the Sunday school rooms looking great, but the flooring in our bathrooms look dismal. Now, the first question is, for heaven's sakes, can't we just knock out the walls and make bigger ones? We wish we could, but here's the deal. The minute we try to expand this property, we have to be rezoned, and we have to put sprinkler systems in the whole church. Just getting the water with the pressure we would need from the road to the building is over $100,000 just for that. That's before any building. And so as you can see, trying to create a bigger ladies' bathroom is just not realistic right now. But what we can do is make it prettier. We can put new flooring in. We can raise all the toilets, and we can do those same things in the men's bathroom. So there's some minimal things we can do that can make it look a lot better. How many of you agree we need a little facelift in the bathrooms, that it's time? Yeah. And so if you're an interior decorator, Nancy, you may want to help us. We've got a lot of that underway already. So what is it going to take to make that happen? This is where Michael comes in. But I seriously want your, if you think, I just don't see any value in that, don't say you do. But if you see value in having that kind of pathway of peace with a pet memorial bridge and a prayer wall and a beautiful trail with eventually some greenery in that would just tie that into a beautiful garden that leads to our labyrinth, do you like that? I'm sorry, what? How do we water it? We're working on that, yeah. And we'll be very particular in the planting as well, but that is part of the conversation, yeah.
Celebrating 75 years is quite an accomplishment, and so this is a pretty ambitious undertaking, particularly with the time frame. Maybe not as ambitious as raise the roof in the middle of COVID, but we did that. And so what we've spent time doing is design, price, adjust, edit, and our budget to accomplish all of this is $50,000 between now and the end of August. That's our goal. That gets all of this in place. And to date, we've already raised $9,475. So we're almost 20% of the way there. Thanks to Jennifer, we've added a Pathway to Peace button on the website, because these will go into restricted funds. Funds raised for this can only go for this project. And so if you'll want to give online, by check or by card, go online under the donate section, check the Pathway for Peace button, and that's where you can help with this. If you do contribute manually with check or cash, please designate that this is for this fund, and we ask that you do what you can, and we ask that you do this separate from your regular monthly giving. This should not take away from what we need to keep the lights on and to keep the place running as we always do. But we've got pretty ambitious plans with a pretty ambitious start, and it'll be a heck of a 75th celebration.
Mm-hmm. All right, so questions. Can we do it? Absolutely, we can do it, yeah. Where will they park? We're hoping they'll come and park at the labyrinth and go that way. But Joe is going to be grading that land. So if somebody comes in and they just want to pull over and park right there, they can do that. So they could put a wheelchair and get to it that way if they wanted to. Are there rain barrels on the structure next to the labyrinth? They're not yet, are they? I know in the past we talked about a rain barrel catch system, didn't we, sustainability team? Yeah, Linda's saying it's very heavy to haul, but what were you saying? Okay. The Labyrinth team has already asked, and so I keep pointing to Joe. Joe is our liaison for the Habitat team, but they're already working on how could we get some, whether it's a watering, what do you call that kind of system, a watering, irrigation system. To what degree do you do that? But it is something that will be taken into consideration. And realizing, like Linda said, a lot of our volunteers, we're getting older, and taking a big bale of heavy water and walking back and forth is not realistic. Thank you so much. Yeah, we love that. Love that. Diane. Elizabeth was saying that she's got younger people who are asking her, when is she, Elizabeth? She's a pretty famous author. I'm going to toot your horn, though. Elizabeth is a pretty famous author who moved here from Washington, D.C. recently. She's also an interfaith minister. She has landed here. We're very happy about that. And she is networking and has the opportunity to possibly bring in some younger folks. And so the more the merrier. Yes. That's a good question. Mark is asking, have we considered a dog and pet area on the campus? Well, I can tell you a lot of people walk their dogs already. So if you walk in the grass, check, because they don't always pick their poop up. We probably will get some poop bag dispensers out here. But a lot of people already walk their dogs. I haven't seen anybody walking a cat. But we have deer, we have geese, we have a bear. We had a bear across the back one time, lots of rabbits. I've seen a white squirrel out here. Fox. Oh, a fenced area where dogs could be while we're here. Yeah, I don't know if we do that, because if people left their dogs unsupervised, that could get a little squirrely. Yeah. Other questions? Yes, Linda. That's a very good, we were talking about raising the one in the middle, and all of us board members were saying, yeah, and one board member said, isn't that the children's bathroom? We're like, oh yeah, let's leave that one short. So, I'm 5'4", I can relate. We need you ladies know why we need a short one. Yeah, that's what she's saying. We'll have a shorter toilet. Yeah, that's what she just said. So we'll raise 3 of the toilets, and a lot of that is because if you have trouble getting up or down, but then for people who are shorter, you don't want your feet dangling. Yeah. You don't want to have to climb up on the toilet and get all up in there. Yeah. I had no idea the conversation would go here, but here we go. Details. Being real.
Any other burning issues?
Are there any plans in the immediate future for the choir?
Oh, yes. Sarah, I don't know about the immediate future, but Sarah is the choir director, and she'll be forming the choir again, if not before, for the next performance around Thanksgiving, and then Christmas probably. So, and when Ricky Byers does her workshop, if you have an interest, I have an idea. If you go to Ricky Byers' workshop on Saturday, she may be asking you to sing on Sunday. So, Ricky with her workshop is going to be including music. It's always a real fun experience. No, it doesn't have to be around a holiday. Well, so the question is, does the choir always have to be a holiday? Could the choir be more often? And that would really be up to Sarah, how often she could handle doing that. Probably. Sarah will see. With Ricky Byers here, though, she's going to be doing a lot of the music that time. So the choir may learn and do one, but... Good. Well, we promised to keep you only an hour, so any other questions? Sharon?
With the ladies' bathroom, I was telling Julia, I said, it's you wash your hands over here, and then you're tramping over here to get to the dryer or the paper towels. No big deal, but paper towels on the wall.
Well, one thing I think you're going to see soon is the sustainability team is hoping to bring back some hand cloth towels, which help us be more sustainable and cut down on either one of those. When they have those, they're located right by the hand washing bowls, so you can wash your hands and then drop it right there. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. No, that's part of the protocol. We would not have you using cloths. Yeah, I know. Right. It's a balancing of how you use the water, but it is important to know that there's a protocol for how those get washed and make sure that they're properly cleaned and brought back in. Yeah. Yeah, and they take them home because we don't have a washer dryer here. Her point is, well, that takes a lot of water, and so odds is the difference if you use the hand or the whatever. It just gives you options. Any other questions? So again, the goal for our 75th anniversary, the board as a whole, we felt very clear, $50,000. We've gotten estimates from 2 brick masons so far. We have a third one coming, but Bobby Lunsford, so far as the one we're leaning to, he's a 4th generation brick mason. He and his dad did a lot of the buildings that you see in Asheville. He did a lot of the stone church here, and they actually quarry their own stones. Everyone else we've talked to, they basically use the stone facings. It's not, but he's an old-fashioned, it's going to be real stone that comes out of the mountains of this area, and they will incorporate some things, some of our stones and stuff here. We also will have signage, for people, and like, for example, where the prayer wall is, we need a box where people can leave a prayer request. We'll have something where people could scan and leave a donation if they'd like to. So it's growing, it's evolving, but I really do believe that it's going to serve our community in an amazing way. The community here, but the people that are already walking in and using it. There's some people that may never want to or need to come on Sunday, but they need a place to go and pray in an interfaith prayer wall. I think a oneness wall and doing things with other spiritual communities is going to have more impact than we can yet imagine what that's going to do. Yeah, it really is. Anybody else? Any other questions? Oh, Deb? Yeah. Well, Tia and I will match you and donate $1,000 each, so there's our $3,000. So, Tia was leaving, and she turned around and said, "What?" We got 4,000. Is somebody writing this down? Nobody is scratching their head right now. They're like, not scratching. We got 5 already. Elizabeth, 6. Oh, they're live streaming this. Live streamers, if you'd like to give $1,000, this is the time to put it in the comments section. Deb Vatiri, thank you for that. Let us know. Think about it. Prayerfully think about it. As Michael said, it is important, though. Don't, whatever you've committed toward the regular giving, that can't go away. So this needs to be over and above. So for Tia and I, that just means she won't get Starbucks coffee for a while. Her loss, so well. she laughed. Before I got her another 1,000, yeah. So I know we can do it. I know some of you have creative resources. Tap in, think about things you can do. I know that we're going to have some 5,000, 10,000, 7,500, whatever those gifts are. Do what you can. Ask your friends. You may have folks that want to help give to this. If your name is listed as a giver and you'd like it to be on a plaque, it will be on a plaque out by that wall. So 100 years from now, when most of us are gone, people can see who made that prayer wall. Most of us are gone. I don't know. You never know. Any other questions or any? You give them 1,000? Do we have them? I don't know if we have any special envelopes, but if you go on our giving page, there's that logo. You'll see this logo. And if they're not out there yet, there will soon be some envelopes that have that little sticker on it so you'll know how to give. 7,000, that's awesome. Judy?
The arts and crafts thing that we have.
So she's asking, are we going to have another arts and crafts sale on a Sunday after a service like we did? There's a tentative date that is the first Sunday in October. I don't see Gail Ray.
No, it can't be October. It's supposed to be October.
Yeah, that wouldn't be right with it. Okay. First Sunday in November. Anyway, Gail Ray is organizing that. Clearly, we don't have a definite date, but we're working on it. It'll be this fall. Stay tuned. Yeah, you were paying attention. You're listening. By this time, I'm in La La Land. I want to thank you all for being here. I know you've been here all morning. You're probably hungry and trying to absorb a lot. This is really, really a whole lot of information to take in. So I want to thank you all for that. And for those of you that have planted the seeds that have helped bring it this far. So thank you for that. So let's stand in a closing prayer. Would you pass the mic down to Sharon and see if she would? Oh, you've got it. Or you can pray us out, Michael.
Creator and infinite source, we just give so much thanks for this spiritual center, for the people here, the work that's done, the hearts that are laid out each and every day towards growing and being the light you would have us be. We are so grateful for each person and each spirit that has passed through here. To all my relations, Ahoma Takwiyasa. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for a wonderful meeting.